I'm not mistaken.
Those were like the two only heroes not getting picked.
Even Sniper was picked, and he's still garbage. Well, okay, he's not complete garbage, but pretty garbage tier still. So this is going to be a farm fest, to say the least, so can't wait. Excited about that. The question is, does Team Liquid have any AoE to go along with this? So Dragon Knight's going to pick up
Team pick.
Oh, Team Liquid only has 1 second to pick Cinderin. Oh my god, I don't even think they can do it.
They must have already planned what they want. The problem is if Sigma picked that hero, then...
Oh, that's a random. I think that's a
I
random.
don't think so.
It's not a bad rant. Okay,
Fast enough.
well, either way, it's a mage. Pick for the opposite team. Slap in the face to Sigma or to Team Liquid. Well, maybe not. If they did pick, I wish it would say in the chat. Does it say? No.
If they wanted it, how's that a slap in the face to Liquid?
It's a slap in the face because it's the best pick possible. Okay.
It's a slap in the face to you because you were so... You thought you were so smart, and then you weren't.
Hey,
now
you
I
still
have to
picked.
cough.
So, come on. As Cinderin coughs in the background, we're going to be talking about absolutely nothing because we're just going to wait for him. We can't talk without Cinderin. I mean, let's not kid ourselves here, ladies and gentlemen.
We can't what?
Nothing.
Okay.
Hi. What are the lanes going to be? We have Dragon Knight mid in all likelihood, Nyx in the off lane with Skywrath, Dazzle, Spectre, tri-lane, which doesn't really instill fear, for me at least. But then on the other side you have Anti-Mage, Wind Ranger,
and Enigma.
With Enigma in the jungle. Still not that great either. So nobody really has a great tri-lane.
Yeah, this is going to be a really strange game, I feel, because both teams in the last game, I feel like at least Sigma's lineup made so much sense to me with the way they were going to run it, with the way they organized themselves, and it just worked out very well for them. This time around, it seems like both teams have a little bit of everything, but not the most amazing synergy. Liquid has good late game with Anti-Mage and decent teamfight with Enigma, and they have the setup from Clockwork, which is all great, but how does Zeus really play into that strategy? And then on Sigma, you've got Spectre, who's an ultra late gamer, and then you're playing it together with arguably an early mid-game oriented support in Skywrath Mage, and I don't know, I think both teams actually have good lineups, but do you understand what I mean when I feel like both lineups are lacking something? And
you know why? Because Skywrath Mage isn't on Team Liquid's lineup right now.
Yeah, if he was on Team Liquid's lineup, they would still be lacking something. That's really true.
How dare you? Their lineup would be amazing, okay? Well, honestly, Team Liquid, and you can say this for both teams, carries, really it's going to come down to the carries. And of course, Enigma always has the possibility of turning the games around. Is this a really expensive courier, or is that just me? Golden Baby Roshan? That one's like really expensive, isn't it?
Yeah, it's because Liquid, I think it was, I'm not sure if it was Bulba who owns it. Is it Bulba? No, it's Fluffs.
How do you check?
Fluffs, you mouse over the thing.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
Yeah, they won this for having one of the fastest rotations in Dire Tide last season, so the one before this one, more than a year ago.
Yeah,
and
this year was, I think, Platinum, right? Platinum Roshan.
Yeah, and the Golden Roshans are worth a hell of a lot of money, I think, so, yeah. Liquid at least has one on Fluff. I think maybe more of their players at least used to have them. I'm not sure if they sold them, but yeah, that's definitely something special.
30 seconds to battle.
Did you...
wow, that's a...
Wait, what?
That's a fast counter ward right there. Holy jeez.
It's a really good counter ward. Yeah, they saw the movement there from Koik replacing that ward and immediately counter warded. So we're in the top lane. We're gonna have Paris as the Spectre together with Pass's Dazzle and Mad on the Skywrath Mage. In the mid lane, Fata will be playing Dragon Knight, one of his best heroes, and in the off lane we've got Miggle on the Nyx Assassin, also one of his best heroes.
The battle begins.
And on Liquid side of things, Fluff, the new captain, well, he used to be the captain originally too, so the old new captain, I don't even know how to describe it here. Fluff is going to be playing the Wind Ranger. PC on the farming Anti-Mage, along with Bulba in the mid with Zeus, which is great to see, of course. Amazing hero. Koik going to be on the Clockwork, blocking these creeps a little bit to help his cause, and then Enigma in the jungle, played by Way 2. So this is going to be like the most boring laning state. This is really TI1. Like, really. I remember the first game ever shown, like I was so excited. It was eHome, I believe, versus God knows who at this point. It was an hour and 20 minutes. Or maybe it was longer than that. It was really long, and like no kills occurred because it was just a farm fest. There's a 4 protect 1 for both sides.
The late game was Spectre versus Weaver, I think. It was actually not AM in that game. I think he was Fan.
Oh, it wasn't AM? Okay.
I could be wrong, but yeah, that was a long game.
I mean, there's like 3 carries to choose from, so you're probably right. It's one of those heroes.
I don't know if this game is going to be that quiet in the early game, because I think in the top lane, knowing Sigma, they will, when they have a 3 versus 1, they're not satisfied with just holding the hero away. You can see there's already a smoke on the Sky Mage, and Zeus is like one of the weakest laners in terms of surviving. He's good at pushing out the lane with Arc Lightning, he's good against melee heroes in particular, which is why it's great for him to play against Dragon Knight, but he is so easy to gank, and any sort of smoke rotation from Sigma will get him killed here, so I think that could be the first blood, and at the same time, Liquid are also not unable to gank. They also started out with a smoke on Enigma, and it's very possible that they will try to take advantage of that in the mid lane.
He's working towards his Soul Ring, Boba. Well, I feel like even you're talking about Arc Lightning being able to push, it's okay. It's not amazing. Like Dragon's Breath, Breathe Fire.
Breathe Fire.
God, it's like
It's actually weird. It's called Breathe Fire.
Yeah, it
it's
really
like
should
if
be
Zeus's
Fire
was
Breath or
called
something.
Shoot Lightning. You know?
Yeah, well, actually, that would be cool. That one would be cool, because it's Zeus, after all. One of the few heroes that needs to be remodeled horribly, but he's still awesome, somehow. Even being Grandfather Mario after all these years.
Imagine that, if all the abilities were renamed to how Sing Sing would call them. Like, Zeus has Shoot Lightning, Mirana has Shoot Arrow.
That would be helpful for... Hey, that's a good way to get new players involved. You know, they don't even have to remember...
Has Stun Target, then Stun Target, then Stun Target.
Big stun target. Absolutely.
And Entomage has Burn Guy.
Guy, Blinky, Shieldy,
Blinky.
and Mana Explosion.
Sounds like Pinky and Brain.
Exactly. It's a great show.
What
hero haven't we done
we're
yet?
going off on a
Smoke's going to
tangent,
be on
isn't it great?
Skywrath Mage, who has Arcane something, Arcane something, Arcane something, and then Mystic
Arcane
Arcane.
Bolt and
Yeah.
Concussive Shot.
Cussive Shot, beautiful. Okay, so Bulba, like we were talking about, very weak in the mid lane. Zeus, that is. I shouldn't say Bulba. Bulba's actually good in the mid lane, but either way, no escape mechanism whatsoever. Fata, there's the Dragon Tail. Here comes Skywrath Mage. A little bit of burst damage, slowing him a little bit. Dragon Knight has the Breathe Fire. One last right click will do it. Fata taking a little damage from the tower, but he should be okay. And
my
I mean, you pretty much called it. Zeus, his main issue, and the reason he's not picked very often, he sucks in the laning stage. I mean, in a lot of ways, in a lot of ways, it's like Shadow Fiend, except Shadow Fiend can go jungle, you know?
That's true. Zeus has a harder time recovering if he has a hard lane, whereas Shadow Fiend can come back. But Bulba has good farm, and dying once is not the biggest setback. The bigger problem is the larger implications this has in the game, because when Dragon Knight hits level 6, Zeus can't leave the lane. He loses his tower. And that means Bulba is way more... He's way more pressured to just stay in his lane, which is... Zeus is kind of a gank-oriented hero. I mean, sure, you've got your global ability in Thunder God's Wrath, which is great. Lightning Bolt is such a powerful ability that you really want to use it to your team's advantage in the other lanes, and it's just hard for him to leave.
Plus, you'll have a hard time killing Dragon Knight solo anyway, so he kind of has to leave, I feel like, unless he's going to get a gank from somebody else, which, I mean, it's possible with Way 2, who's now level 5 on Enigma, so doing pretty well for himself overall. Yeah, they have potential to gank this mid, but really, that's another thing with Zeus. Not only an escape mechanism, it's kind of difficult to get kills mid as well, depending on the matchup. Especially when you have a Dragon Knight who gets, I mean, one level of Dragon Blood is enough to survive, in all likelihood. And of course, being able to Bottle Crow, as Zeus is getting the runes so far this game. Playing though, haven't really talked about quite very much. He's going to use his cogs, should be okay to go. He's going to have even TP support here from Wind Ranger. God, this is how dirty. A dirty, dirty name. Hate it.
You dirty, dirty girl, Wind Ranger.
I don't have a problem remembering it though. That's the weird thing. Like I say Rasta all the time, even though I don't mind Shadow Shaman as a name, but Wind Ranger, I don't know. Mid lane.
I have this agenda. I really want Nature's Prophet to start getting called by his name. Do you know what his name
Tyrion?
is? Tiquoia.
Ugh. That sounds horrible.
His name in Dota 2. We're gonna make it a thing. We just haven't really had the hero picked in our tournament. It's called Tiquoia. Ah, here we go.
Getting caught out. Getting silenced thanks to Skywrath Mage. The burst damage is not quite there. Here comes Zeus. As we have a stun actually on Way 2 on the back end here. There's a nice Shackle Shot on Wazzy. He's gonna use that grave to stay alive at least for now. Actually, did he get out? He actually TP'd out. I didn't even realize.
Yeah.
Okay then.
So Bulba used the Thunder God's Wrath to get vision and to make sure he didn't TP out. And then he didn't have mana for Lightning Bolt. And he was too slow at using the bottle. So by the time he got the mana on Lightning Bolt, pass was out. And that's kind of That's kind of a big blunder here for Liquid, because that kill was really important for them. The good thing, however, is they're leading by 1,000 golden experience, which is the Enigma factor, I want to call it. They're simply gaining more on the supports. But as far as the carries go, it's pretty even.
Radiant's middle tower is
Mid
under
and the
attack.
safe lane carries. And to me, that favors Sigma. If they get good farm on the Spectre, I think they can trade away good farm on the Anti-Mage for a bit. Because they have ways of dealing with AM. They have the silence from Skywrath, they have the stun from Nyx, and they have the stun from Dragon Knight. We just know how fast Dragon Knight really comes online compared to an AM. And Sigma, if they're playing the last game, they're going to come online and push her over. Me too.
This lightning bolt combination, but Spectre is going to use her ult to keep things at bay. Way2's just going to get out of there. One thing I wanted to talk about, and Bulba is just so important for this team. Zeus as a hero, of course. I mean, Dragon Knight mid, even if you don't have a great game, he's still a solid hero. He's pretty consistent overall, I feel like. As opposed to Zeus, who kind of has to snowball. Like, he needs to get some level advantage. He needs to get... I mean, farm isn't necessarily so important for him, but really the levels more than anything. Getting that burst damage, being able to take advantage of it. And part of the problem here for Sigma, and this is the one benefit for the jungling Enigma, like you talked about, the experience is going their way. So overall, Zeus being able to take down those support heroes in Sigma is going to be crucial in this game.
And at the same time for Sigma, they have a really hard time in the offlane with the Nyx assassin. So if whenever you're playing a hero like Nyx, who his defensive capability has nothing really to do with his base stats or with some sort of passive, like, I don't know, who could we mention like that? Tidehunter, for example, with Kraken Shell or kind of thing. He is
Bristleback.
Yeah, Bristleback. He's fully mana dependent, and he doesn't have any against TC. TC keeps going up and hitting him, so he doesn't even have mana for Spike Carapace. This is a great time for Miggle because he has mana for Carapace for once. And then it's really hard. In comparison to the Clockwork played by Koikva for Liquid in the offlane, he has a much easier time. And he's even
Radiant's
playing,
middle
I feel like,
tower is under
he's at a
attack.
bigger disadvantage in terms of
Radiant
numbers, but it's just an easier
structures
lane
are
for him.
fortified.
Paris doesn't have his ultimate.
Nice
Shackle
shackle.
is going to hit through the creep. And there's the battery assault along with the Zeus ult. It's going to be enough damage. And Pot's actually going to pick up. He doesn't make for himself. And there goes the black hole, which looks really weird for whatever reason.
Dire's
Graves not
top
going to be able
tower
to
is
be
under
used
attack.
because the stun is just too long. And honestly, this early, black holes on single targets are perfectly fine, if not encouraged, because you're not going to be getting any big team fights at this stage of the game. TC, oh, he actually blinks in. Miggle has the haste rune. Doesn't have any mana to boot though, so TC
Go
is going to be
Miggle!
fine.
You just need another 50 hits.
He's poking him like a very annoying bug.
It's actually, the funny thing is, it's Miggle, if the Anti-Mage stands still and Miggle just gets to attack him, he's gonna need like 30 seconds to kill him with attacks only. The Anti-Mage has a stout shield, 5 armor, and a ring of regen. Ring of health. It's... Miggle has, what, 60 damage? Gonna take a while.
But he has that haste rune.
Yeah, it's true.
Oh,
I mean, he can look cool.
Yeah.
Just points too. And now Fata actually gonna rotate bottom. They're not going to kill TC, they're just pressuring him and denying him farm by doing this, basically. And the reason Fata feels like rotating like this is now that the mid-tier 1 is down, he doesn't have to fulfill the same role there. He's done his job in the mid lane, and now he can go wherever he feels like he's providing the most for his team. And the plan is, we're going to rotate bottom, we're going to sit up for it. I'm 25 seconds away from my Elder Dragon form coming off cooldown. And then we're going to push the tower with 4, if not 5 heroes. Once again, Sigma just being
Dire's
really
middle
structured
tower
in their
is under
play.
attack.
Oh,
Dire's
Korka.
structures
Gonna
are
get caught out here.
fortified.
There's the poison touch.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Uses his cogs to try to zone them out, but takes
Dire's
damage, and
middle
this is gonna
tower is
end the
under
engagement.
attack.
But you're right, the Dragon Knight ult is just about up, and actually he's heading towards the rune. Another 2 seconds, and you would assume he's gonna actually, okay, he's TPing mid as the rune pops right in front of his eyes. Unfortunate, but
He had to TP. He had to TP. The tower was falling here.
now that he has his ultimate, expect him to actually push this bottom tower. But the one thing about Anti-Mage versus a Spectre, of course Spectre doesn't need to necessarily be in the fights, or even close to the fights to be able to participate as opposed to TC. Oh, that was initiation from Koikva, along with the Anti-Mage. Miggle popping his Spike Carapace. There's the ultimate from Zeus, popping as well. TC falls, and that is huge for them. Miggle gets shackled. He's going to go down, but right now it's a 1-for-1 exchange. A Spectre for a Nyx. Take that any day of the week, as Fat is here to help out. Fluff very low, goes down to the Breathe Fire. And at this point, Sigma might just clean up, but the nice cogs are going to zone them out just a little bit, but there's a Spectral Dagger. Koikva is slowed to an absolute crawl. Battery Salt is there, but he's just going to try to take as much damage as possible
Dire's
to help
top
his
tower
teammate
is
get
under
out,
attack.
which is Bulba. And meanwhile, top lane, Waytu's trying to take advantage of this
Radiant's bottom
space to
tower
push top
is
lane,
under
but
attack.
Spectre just TP's in.
Yeah, Liquid just... They did get a trade-off there, but not really a favorable one. And the problem is, every time these kind of trades happen, if Enigma is not getting more out of it than that, he should have been in the fight. I mean, he got half a tier 1 top, which is okay.
Radiant's bottom
But guess what he
Radiant's
lost?
bottom
Full
tower
tier 1
has
in the
fallen.
bottom lane. And again, we're just seeing Sigma's... The way they organize themselves and the way they play as a team just seems much more structured and makes more sense than the seemingly desperate rotations, I almost want to call it, from Liquid, which just don't bring with them any sort of collateral, even if they're successful. And now, because of this, Sigma have a mech on Dragon Knight. There is a mech on Enigma as well, but, you know, a big part of Enigma's early game and why it's strong when you can run it as a greedy jungler is that you get the advantage on the other team. You're ahead. Liquid aren't ahead with this Enigma because of that. Now they're even in terms of mech, and that means his impact at this point with that is just not the same as it could have been. And the timing window for Sigma now with a level 7 Nyx Assassin with a super
Dire's
strong
top
Dragon
tower
Knight,
is
I
under
feel like they're
attack.
just much stronger than Liquid at this point.
Absolutely. I mean, looking at the net worth, it kind of tells the tale here. As we have initiation
shot.
Quaita onto Nyx. Spike Carapace goes, but there's the battery spell, which is a ton of damage. Vendetta is up, but there's the ultimate from Bulba, scouting him out, dealing the damage. Of course,
Dire's
the ult
top
actually
tower
doesn't do
is under
damage
attack.
if they're invis, but it does reveal them.
Dire's
So that's
top
the most
tower
important thing,
has
is they do get the
fallen.
kill. But looking at the net worth,
Actually got the tower too.
top tower, yep, goes down. Actually surprised they didn't get the denial.
Exactly.
But looking at the net worth, it tells the tale as far as what the lanes were. The supports for Sigma are kind of lower as far as net worth is concerned because of that Enigma in the jungle rounding things
Radiant's
out
top
for
tower is under
for Liquid.
attack.
But they won every other lane essentially. I mean, I'm considering the jungle a lane here. But either way, net worth definitely in Sigma's favor for the core heroes.
And now, if Liquid don't defend this tier 1 tower top and
Radiant's
don't get a
top
trade
tower
mid, this
is
is
under
really not
attack.
looking good for them. I think Waytu
Radiant
will be able to do
structures
this.
are
Miguel is
fortified.
already getting in position. I think it's going to be too late, but actually, the TP from Fata is going to be enough to scare them off. That might mean they don't get the top
Dire's
tower.
middle tower
And the mid
has
tower actually
fallen.
does fall.
Dragon Tail is gonna hit along with the Spectral Dagger. Waytu has his ultimate, but wouldn't want to use it even if he wasn't perma-stunned there, which he was. Zeus dealing a little bit of damage. I mean, Bulba, his presence just hasn't been felt as strongly as you would hope for a Zeus, which is exactly what I was talking about. Dragon Knight doesn't necessarily need to... He can just push, he can just chill. He's a very chill hero. You know, very... not very often you have like a feeding Dragon Knight, at least that I can remember. Just a very solid hero in general. Consistency is the key.
It's a hero that it's... I think what you're trying to say is this hero can be really confident because, you know... Rest assured, if you have decent farm on the Dragon Knight, that if the enemy team wants to bring you down, they have to commit so much that you make loads of space in the fight. When you're playing a Dragon Knight with a mech like this, you have 24 armor, 1300 health, and a 250 health boost, with 10 stick charges in a bottle. I mean, Liquid are not killing this hero without getting him in a black hole.
A Shackle into the hook shot. The Grave's going to keep him alive for now, but his ultimate is down, so he would, in all likelihood, will go down. Uses the Spectral Dagger to go into the jungle, into the trees, has a TP, but no! There is Zeus. You can't run from heaven, good sir.
So I have some trivia for you. What can you run from?
You can't reuse that, okay?
I've used it already, I know. Still like it.
Your trivia is old. It's in there. It's outdated.
Come on, don't tell me you haven't had the question twice, the same question twice in Trivial Pursuit, and you forgot it the second time.
Yeah, I do have terrible memory, but you embarrassed me on stream with that, so I will never forget it. Along with the maximal damage coming out from Fata onto TC. He's gonna blink out though. He should be good to go. Maximal. Just saying.
He dealt the maximal damage he could. It was not enough.
I don't even know how to use that in a sentence. I'm not even gonna lie. Apparently it's a word, but I don't know how to use it. Is that correct? Getting the maximal damage? Like, why can't you just say getting the maximum damage? What's the difference?
You can actually also say that.
In what state, or in what sentence does maximal
Ohio.
make sense that maximum doesn't? Just like the same word, essentially.
It's actually more the other way around. We'll wait on that though. Koikfa is going to get engaged here by Fata. He's actually not stunning him right now for some reason. There we go.
Tail's gonna miss on Bulba, but here's the ultimate from Skywrath, man, just dealing work. As Waytu's gonna find Spectre. He's taking a ton of damage. Shackle shot not gonna latch.
The work dealer.
I know. I'm amazing at words. What can I say? Way too gonna get Dragon Tailed. He's done for. He's dealing work as well. Bulba in the meantime has the 4-step up, but I don't want to say it's over because it's not to that point yet. Because Anti-Mage does have his Battle Fury, but things are just not.
I want to call it as over for the team that's ahead by 2,000 golden experience, do you?
I feel like they're down though, don't you? I mean, I feel like Zeus is just not. It's not working out right now for Liquid.
It's a little deceptive when you look at graphs whenever there's a Spectre in play. I feel like Spectre is the hero that makes the graphs the weirdest. Because
oh, they put down a center. I think the Arcane, the Ancient Seal, the Arcane Ancient Seal, which will now be the name from now on, is enough, and that's a great counter to Anti-Mages that we didn't really mention. It kind of
Ancient Seal.
Yeah,
that sounds good, doesn't it?
It obviously silences him, but it kind of negates his spell damage shield as well. So
Dire's top tower is under attack.
That's an easy pick off here.
Thinking about it.
What I wanted to point out is that
Fata getting stunned, thanks to Roshan. Was trying to TP somewhere, but
really?
Won't be the case.
That sucks. That's a bit of bad luck. So, to finish up on my trail of thought real quick, the thing about Spectre is when you look at golden experience graphs, they're generally a good way of assessing what's going on in the game. But I feel like sometimes the team that has Spectre and is like 5 or 10,000 gold behind sometimes still have the better position in the game just because of how brutally strong Spectre is in some games. I feel like this is one of those games. Like, Liquid don't have a Spectre counter. You talk about a Spectre counter, it's some sort of really sick single target damage.
Who would have been great?
They have
Skywrath Mage.
They have Zeus, but I don't think he's gonna cut it. You need more than that, like a Life Stealer to kill him, or an Alchemist with a lot of farm who just hits really fast and really hard. Physical damage.
Right. What's he going for? Is he going Radiance or the Diffusal?
Probably gonna be a Radiance. He's holding on to his gold for now, so I would assume if it's Diffusal, he would start buying the parts. Bulba's in trouble.
Fata has the Shadow Blade. You're seeing the extra damage come into play. Spectral Dagger actually hits and actually gets the kill. That was actually a hilarious pathing. As Paris is gonna use his ultimate to position himself a little bit better in this jungle, but of course Koikpa is there, has his hook shot and a blade mail to follow suit.
How's it going?
So it's gonna follow. Here comes the ult. Paris is actually in a lot of trouble. Power shot should be enough, along with the heal, but no, not in range for his Shallow Grave. Actually, I thought he was in range, but either way, Fluff's gonna go down. Now Wave 2 and the rest of the team is on the retreat. They do get Spectre though, so
it's a really high priority kill. That's the hero they need to hold down on Sigma's side, because what I wanted to point out is the reason the physical damage is really important against Spectre is that magical damage doesn't scale. So you reach a point in the game when your spells are only so and so strong. Zeus is a little bit different because of course he's percentage based out of max health. So maybe he could be the key to bringing down Spectre. He is actually one of the heroes who can deal with Spectre, so I want to correct myself a little bit on that. But apart from Zeus, if he's controlled, I don't see Liquid killing the Spectre without a really farmed Anti-Mage. And the question is, he is getting there, definitely. He's getting a really good amount of farm on the Anti-Mage here, TC, so definitely hope there for Team Liquid. And they need it. I feel like when Radiance comes online on Spectre, if that's in less than 5 minutes, I think Sigma have a point in time when they're just way stronger than Liquid. Until Anti-Mage starts getting multiple items, if he gets like a Manta Style and an Abyssal Blade, then at that point he can just shred the Spectre really quickly.
I think the Manta Style for TC is big fighter. Clockwork going to initiate onto Fata. Has the little sword though, but of course Zeus is there. So, and the Sentry actually. But he will not get out.
Pick off by Liquid.
That's an ultimate down as well for Dragon Eye. Not the longest cooldown of course, but I wanted to mention the Anti-Mage either getting a BKB or a Manta is huge against Ancient Seal. As we're seeing Ancient Seal used immediately there. Wow, how much damage they do on these support heroes. I forgot about that, to be honest. I'm glad you're bringing it back.
So that was just a get bursted moment, it really was.
It's a very retro moment for us, Cinderin. Even though it's like only 3 casts ago.
Yeah, we're already getting old, aren't we?
Yeah, that's true.
Speak for yourself. Spectre, 400 gold away from the relic. Now the countdown starts, because with that kill on AM, they really delayed TC a lot. Every time he dies, it costs not only the gold that he obviously loses from dying, but AM with Battle Fury first is so snowball dependent. He loses more than 1,000 gold from dying every time, because he loses his death gold and all the gold he could have farmed at the same time. And AM with Battle Fury, a really good way of looking at it, this hero needs to be ahead. It's not good enough with an AM Battle Fury to be be on par with the enemy carry, especially not when it's a Spectre who really doesn't farm that fast in the beginning. They're pretty much on par. It's a 500 gold advantage for TC. That's not going to cut it. He's going to lose the fight if they have the same amount of gold, because Spectre just deals so much more damage to everyone on his team. These kind of pickups for Sigma are crucial, and they're actually going to try it again.
If they can get an Ancient Seal off, this will be close. There's the Ancient Seal, initiation,
Once
Impale is going to hit, and the ulti!
Combo.
Wow.
Get bursted version 2. 2.
Mystic Flare is amazing, especially when you have that amplified damage onto somebody like an Anti-Mage, which again, actually I need to look at the actual percentages to see if it completely negates Spell Shield. Yeah, it does. So 36% magic reduction for Ancient Seal compared to level 1 is 26% for Anti-Mage. But of course if he levels that up, he'll have a little bit more, but still, you negate most of that.
So how do they apply? Does Anti-Mages go on first, and then you reduce the total by 36?
That's a good question. I don't know.
Right.
Radiant's top tower
But I do know
is
that this
under
tower's
attack.
dead top.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
That's something I do know.
Dazzle
Radiant's
actually getting
top
the last
tower
hit. That
has
would have been
fallen.
nice to get on Spectre. He's getting very close to his Radiance now, so they're gonna have to wait a little bit longer on that, but Sigma still, I feel like, have a firm grip on the game, especially when they start. These 2 kills on AM were like the most important kills the whole game. Got them within 1 minute of each other. TC has been delayed so much now, and he even went for the Vlad's build, which is good for split pushing, but that's the reason he's not tankable enough. He doesn't have what it takes to survive this kind of combo out of Sigma.
If he had Manta,
yeah.
if he had
has a
Manta, he would have gotten
can
out of both
survive,
situations.
but he went for the Vlads. I don't think he could have had the full Manta yet, though, so he would have probably still taken those deaths.
Right.
But with this kind of a momentum-based item that he got, the Manta is far away. That just means he's
Dire's
going to be that
bottom
Manta
tower is
short
under
when the Radiance
attack.
comes off for Spectre. He's not going to have it. The Radiance is up in, let's see, 600 gold in the spec. AM is 5,000 gold away from Manta. It's just not going to happen. And that means Liquid need to stall the game even further. When do you want to
Here's the
stall
thing
a
about
game
stalling,
against
though.
Spectre and
Yeah.
Dragon Knight?
Well,
like,
not
really.
only that, but way 2, I mean, he's farming really well, but obviously the Spectre ult counters his blink quite a bit. But not only that, I actually have no idea what I was going to say. I was going to say something, let's see, Enigma. Oh, that's right. Even if he gets an amazing ultimate off, I mean, we're talking about Enigma being able to come
Do
back,
it with
right? Like,
flair.
he has these huge moments that team fights can just go the other way, but Liquid, other than Zeus, doesn't really have any burst AoE damage that they can rely on, and like as far as follow-up damage is concerned. Like, if you have like any other hero with some sort of AoE, I hate to bring it up, Skywrath Mage is an okay example. I mean, obviously his ulti shares damage, it's kind of like Sunstrike, but still, on one target at the very least is better than pretty much no AoE damage for them at all right now. So, I don't know, it's going to be tough for Liquid. I mean, they're not down and out completely yet. The Spectre did buy the Radiance officially, so the ticker is done. The countdown's done. What does that mean for this team?
I think at this point, Sigma just forces whatever they want. If they don't get Black Hold, I think they're going to win the fight. So they could go Roche right now with 4 heroes and keep Spectre farming the jungle. And then if Liquid wants to come fight, they haunt and they take the fight. Because this Dragon Knight's just not going to die right now, I think. Again, the big player for Liquid has to be Bulba. The Zeus needs to get multiple spells off with the right heroes around him. It's not enough that he just gets his ult off and 1 or 2 Arc Lightnings and a Lightning Bolt. He needs to hit the right target. He needs to have static field on the right targets as well. Because also, I don't think Liquid are going to be able to bring down the Sigma lineup, which is tanky with Spectre and Dragon Knight, and has sustain with Shallow Grave and level 4 Shadow Wave. It's going to be really tough. Miguel is actually scouting out. He's going to get spotted here by the sentry from Fluff and pulled back out. We're going to see what Sigma's plan is right now. I don't think they want to keep farming. They want to keep farming with Spec, but they're looking for something with the other heroes. There's the drawing from Fata. Go.
Potato?
Like, guys were leading.
Potato!
Start drawing vegetables in the minimap.
Well, getting pretty close. In fact, he might be done with his 4 staff. Indeed it is. So that's going to give him a lot more mobility, be able to initiate and get out pretty much every single time. And Sigma, going for Roche. Could do anything about this. They're pretty far away. Top lane, TC, picking up his Yasha. But of course, with a 16-minute battlefield, he's pretty far behind because of those 2 deaths.
Yeah, it's only the 2 deaths. I mean, he's been doing a good job farming. Having 200 CS at 25 minutes is pretty okay considering his 2 deaths. So it's not because he hasn't found farm, but Liquid just hasn't found anything else. He has 1 assist and 0 kills, and he could die twice before those 2 ganks might have. He has 4 deaths. It's just really hard for Antimage when he goes for this kind of a farm intensive build and gets ganked twice. They will trade for a tier 2, so I think overall for Liquid this is okay. The question is, with an Aegis on the Spectre, sorry I said it, can Liquid even fight them now? I think it's basically a matter of Sigma going to position X, and Liquid will try to go to position Y and get a trade-off. That's a good item.
Really like that pickup. Miguel getting in the impale, only gonna hit 1 TC, TPing out, he should be good to go. Fluff though, may not be so lucky. He actually tries to TP him. He's having a little cute TP there. Not cute enough for Wind Ranger. Since you changed your name, you're not cute anymore. Good woman. I was gonna say good sir, but that doesn't work, does it? Good woman.
It misses.
Yes, but as we talked about, or as we alluded to, Veil of Discord on Bulba, that helps quite a bit against non-BKB targets, which there are 0, I believe. Yes, indeed. So Zeus becomes even more important. And of course, now that you have the Enigma Black Hole, I was talking about no AoE damage, with that item pickup, that helps quite a bit in that scenario.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Bulba. Oh, Bulba. He is in trouble.
Bulba along with TC. They're safe though. He's going.
Oh,
okay.
Tail missing.
Yeah, but he went for Nyx, or he went for Antimage. It was a little bit questionable. Bulba though, trying to TP out. Wow. Get bursted, son. Top lane in the meantime, Koika has the Agnum Scepter. He's gonna use it.
Dire's middle tower
Dazzle.
is under attack.
Of course, the Cog's gonna keep Spectre out, at least for now. Gonna grave himself is Pos. In all likelihood will go down because Enigma is here with the Blink Dagger.
Yeah, why isn't Sox just fighting him? I think he can kill him.
Tristing, Koika, Rocket not quite up, but Pos is gonna go down the power track. Here's another initiation. Trying to get out of Koika, but he's gonna get stuck in the sandwich that is Spectre. The Wave 2's gonna use his ultimate. Can Fluff take him out? No, the Shackle's gonna hit. Of course, there is an Aegis, which I completely forgot about. Last Spectre ult is down, so you can't really chase anybody after the fact. Miguel, though,
Radiant's
has a
bottom
Blink
tower
Dagger,
is under
but
attack.
no mana to really follow it up with.
Soxka, I feel like, was a little too passive there. I mean, he still got a double kill. He might have been able to get 3 if he fought back
Radiant's
immediately
bottom
after they were
tower
chasing
is under
Pos. And
attack.
that right there was the problem in a nutshell. Zeus, not there. Can't kill the Spectre fast enough. He had a 1-on-4, basically.
Oh, Bulba.
Most worked out, Bulba, yeah.
Bulba.
He's done.
Not even needed to use the actual Vendetta. I think Veil of Discord was actually used in the dying moments of that Zeus. TC, blinking out, and
Radiant's
he is
top
fine.
tower
Bottom
has
lane
fallen.
though,
Spectre now
and top
has
taken out.
5,000 gold. He just had it. He bought the recipe for heart. It's almost a full heart for Paris now.
Wow.
Out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Good thing for Liquid about this particular item choice is that Zeus's damage scales with the target's health, so he can definitely still kill the Spectre. The problem is the dispersion also scales with it, so he's going to reflect more damage and thereby deal more damage to the opponents. This means they can still bring it down, but they take more damage from it.
I missed something. As far as AoE damage is concerned, theoretically, Anti-Mage might have the most AoE damage for Liquid. Of course, he has to get somebody with a lot of mana capacity, such as Skywrath Mage, down to pretty much 0.
Skywrath Mage?
Yeah,
Did you mention
absolutely.
Skywrath Mage?
Skywrath Mage is an amazing hero. But another thing to keep in mind, the last patch, the AoE was increased quite a bit, as you can see right here. So that is that's more than a black hole right there. So theoretically speaking, that is a lot of burst damage possibilities, but again, it's quite situational. As Spectre talked about, finishes the heart, and she's going to be super, super tanky. You really need a pipe on Liquid. Is anybody going for a pipe against Spectre?
Flares here.
Look like it. I'm going to
Be a
say
really
right now,
important pickup.
if Bulba gets caught out, Liquid lose the game. He doesn't have a buyback. I think Sigma can just push the base. They even have a DD on Dragon. Here we go.
Oh, hook shot, but quite gonna get blown up, get bursted again. Anti-Mage is there though. Has the Void ultimate. One's gonna go down, possibly gonna keep himself alive as opposed to Dragon. It's a 2-for-1 exchange in favor of Liquid. Paris getting really low. The Impale's gonna come though to save his life. Fluff has the power shot. He's able to take out Dazzle in the trees. A nice snipe for him as Paris and Miguel are on the retreat. Liquid holding, strong. And actually, no, Void,
Yeah,
Mana Void wasn't used. I was surprised. Thought that would have been a double kill.
was a really good defense. And the most important thing about that was Koikva initiated onto the Dragon Knight and basically got himself killed. But the amount of spells Sigma committed to that and the amount of space it generated for Bulba was what was really important there. It's about the Zeus right now. He's not the most farmed hero in Liquid, but TC is not in a position right now when he's strong enough to really be the big difference maker in these fights. It's still mainly about the Zeus as Fluff is going to get picked up. We're going to see Way2 actually getting chased here as well by Paris. He's going to miss the dagger though. Actually, we'll just retreat here.
Wouldn't have been enough. A little bit too risky, but I mean, the great thing about playing a Spectre, you can just farm their jungle now too. Obviously, Anti-Mage can do the same, but I mean, the farm advantage on Spectre has a little bit less to worry about. He's going to take out the Ancients or attempt to. Force Staff on Skywrath Mage though, which is an excellent pickup against a Clockwork, of course. But Bulba, 1,600 gold, 1,700 gold. What does he get now? Does he go for the all-in kind of refresher, Ags, something like that? I'm not sure Ags is really that great this game, but
Yeah, that's true. I really
the
think
refresher is so good.
He needs to go full out damage because right now it's the Zeus who has to deal the majority of the damage, and then he can hopefully rely on TC to do the rest, especially in the later portions of the game. But since all the focus from Bulba has to be on killing the Spectre, he needs as many spells to cast as possible over a short amount of time to burst down the Spec so he can't be in the fight. Now with that in mind, I feel like Sox could really go for a Blade Mill instead of a Diffusal, and he's gonna go for a Manta actually instead of that. Now, the reason Blade Mill would be really good here is, I feel, is that in his position in the game, Zeus is the one killing him, but Zeus does so incredibly much damage to himself when you have Blade Mill on. Because, let's see, Zeus has 1,200 health, Paris has 2,600. In that last fight, I think Zeus would have killed himself alone. By just the 4 spellcasts he did on Paris would have killed himself. That means, if he has the Blade Mill, I think Paris can just haunt in reality and use Blade Mill, and no one can attack him. If they don't have stuns, he's just going to kill them all one by one. But he's choosing to go for the Manta build, which will give him a lot more damage once it's finished. The Yasha is, of course, great for attack speed and movement speed and all that, but...
See? Oh, he gets Ancient Sealed at the last moment, and of course isn't able to use the Manta style. Gets bursted again. Koifa though, this is going to be a disaster for Liquid. He pops his Blade Mill, but when all likely could fall, and he does, and Wind Ranger will follow in combination. Set is 3 dead. Is this going to be racked? So we have buybacks here? Anti-Mage be able to buy
Only aim
back?
can buy back. That's not going to cut it. If Liquid want to even have a chance of coming back in this game, they need to not buy the Anti-Mage back. They need to sacrifice the barracks. They're gone anyway.
Structures are fortified.
Oh,
Needs farm.
Interesting.
He's
going.
Yeah,
Way2's getting ready for this black hole. He smoked himself to be able to put himself in good position. He can get 4 right now if he wants to cause the BKB. There's the black hole on 3, but no follow-up damage whatsoever. There we go. Along with the burst damage from Zeus, but again, no kills to follow.
It just falls back. He's gonna die again.
Again, bursted down.
Last game.
GG is probably going to come out here. He's got more initiation Bulba, not be able to get impaled. Miguel missing that. But this is at least 1 Rax, if not more. GG comes out from Way2, so a 2-0 victory for Sigma. They're guaranteed to be in the playoffs. Team Liquid still has a match to go, but they are knocked out completely.
Dire victory.
Yeah.
Sigma just
I think the motto for this game was get bursted, Cinder.
really was. Again, very well played by Sigma. They got so much out of the kills they got on the AM. They had a good early game. The Spectre had a lot of impact, and Bata in particular in the early mid game with the Dragon Knight did so much work as well.